Okay, we're talking with Mike. Mike had a wonderful day in the market where most of us were bleeding out, and Mike had on the Sweet Bobby Hedge, and his account. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. You were up over like $200,000 today on your net lig.
Yes. Yep. I was up over 200,000.
And the question is, he had the Sweet Bobby Hedge on. Can you? How many tranches of that? Can you kind of tell us how many shorts you had and how many longs that you had in the Sweet Bobby Hedge?
Well, I don't know now. I mean, it was a lot. It
Because you,
definitely
you
was a
said
lot.
you had to close 67 orders to get that thing done, right?
Yeah, I was closing that, but I was also closing some other stuff. So I think I had told you I had rolled some calls up, and when I had rolled calls up, I had sold puts to like
Mhm.
sort of give me some credit. So
Uh-huh.
I closed out that nightmare. But the Sweet Bobby hedge where you have the 3-5 tranche. There was a bunch of them that I had closed out the threes, so I was just long fives. But it wasn't just five; it was like 35, 60, you know, tranches. There was a lot of them. So some of my longs that I had were like 60 deep, 30 deep, 35 deep. So I mean, I had a lot on. But I did back out of the 111s and 112s as the market was dropping because I was trading a little too big and my buying power was getting gobbled up. So I was buying some puts, you know, 4 or 5 days out just to give me a little relief. I deposited some money back into my account on Friday. Um, and then it just with the volatility jumping so much, I just was able to absolutely crush it. And what I would do is I started out with the closest day to expiration, the ones that only were a few days, and seeing something that I bought for $10 rocket up to thousands was like incredible. So I just started closing those out
I
for
mean,
huge.
tell us how you felt this morning when you. What time did you say you woke up, looked at the market, and saw we
So,
were down
so,
like 4%?
yeah, so I get up around 5 every morning, and first thing I do is I go in to the computer, I turn on Bloomberg, get a coffee, and I was waiting to log on. I glance over at the TV and I saw Bitcoin was down over 10%, and I said, "Oh boy, something's happening." And then when the went over to S&P, I think it was down around 3%, and luckily I was logged in and I just started closing trades. But the toss was wicked slow. It was so incredibly slow. I couldn't believe it, and it took me till 11 o'clock to trade. To close everything I closed.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have been up more than the 200. I think if I was able to close things quicker.
Wow. And were you kind of shaking like I was when I did it back in 2020?
Yeah, the adrenaline was pumping. I mean, it was pumping, and my hand was shaking so bad that when I would click on the price to adjust the price,
Yeah.
the cursor was moving all over the place. I just I couldn't believe I stayed calm though and didn't wake up the whole family.
Yeah, and you didn't do like I did either. I had to call Thinkorswim when I did it because I never got on the phone with them. I think the wait time was like 4 hours that day, but it was remarkably fun. And so you went into the shortest dated ones first. And do you
Yep.
remember? Did you close a short first and then a long? How'd you do that? Do you remember
No,
exactly how you?
I'd close the long, and the short dated ones I didn't have any shorts. It was just longs. So
Uh-huh.
I'd go into like say something 3 to 11 days, and the mid price could have been like say 60, and I would like put in a price for like 70 and it would get filled. So whatever was on the screen didn't even matter. I would put in for more money than what was on the screen and it would still get filled.
Wow.
And so then, I'd go in and, I had some naked puts that were way out, like 130 days. 100 days. So I, just that was sitting there naked against the calls that I had that were a nightmare. And so I was just writing it down on paper. I'd be up 20,000, and then I'd close something at 10, and be up another 20,000, close something else at 10. And I took a lot of risk off. I don't have to sweat it now, obviously, but
Well, I'm
what a ride,
curious. Yeah, go
what a
ahead.
ride, I'll tell you.
I'm curious, what is your plan with the Sweet Bobby Hedge, Black Swan Hedge, whatever people want to call it? What's your plan going forward? I mean, now that the thing has happened, are you out of that, or you going to wait for the market to go to all-time highs again before you pop it in? I'm curious as to what your plan is going forward.
So I still have some like ES trades out 70 to 100 and something days. I'm not in front of my computer right now, but I'm gonna wait for those to drop down, decay down, and I'll keep putting the Sweet Bobby Hedge on. I'll just keep, like you said once. I was listening to one of your videos when I would drive home from work, and you were talking about like stacking a brick wall.
Yeah,
Just keep layering it on, keep layering it on, keep layering it on. So that's what I'll do. I'll keep layering them on.
yeah, and I mean, can you imagine um, having on thousands of those?
Yeah. Yeah, that it would have been a game changer. Had I been concentrating on that for the last like 6 months, 9 months, that would have been, probably triple of today. It would have been triple, maybe quadruple what I cashed out at.
Just amazing. And y'all, here's the thing, and I think this is the thing that's even surprising to me, is we're selling these strikes down in the 4,000s or the 3,900s, and people are like, well, the market's never going to get down there. It doesn't have to. As long as that VIX pops like it popped this time, then that's a game changer, regardless of whether those strikes are being, struck or not. Now you can only imagine. Mike, tell everybody what you said a while ago. You had modeled this if we had been down 50%. Tell everybody about that.
Yeah, so if doing the analysis, on Thinkorswim, if I told my wife, I think Friday, I said if the market drops 50%, we're looking at $12 million. And I think it was like, I don't know, it was like 15 or 20%, whatever it was, would have been around a million. And today I just said, Jesus, if we get to the circuit breaker and I don't cash out this money, it has time to recover, then I lost all that. I would have lost $200,000 worth of opportunity. So for me, I started closing stuff, and I'm still in a good position. I just bought 2,000 of BIL, and that'll pay a good amount every month while my other positions decay, and then I'll just trade cautiously going forward. I won't overtrade.
Yeah, my friend David here just made a comment. He said, "All we've been talking about is this case," and he's exclamation point, exclamation point. And I think that was one of David's concerns showing this, is that what happens, if we don't get anywhere near those strikes and volatility pops up. And Mike has just shown us that it's a game changer. It really is. Now, what has your wife said today, Mike? I'm curious. Have you told her yet or anything that, hey, honey, we're going out for a steak dinner tonight or anything like that?
Yeah, she just kind of asked. I told her right when she got up. I said I'm shaking, and she noticed I didn't go to work. She actually was like, I didn't hear the truck leave. I was concerned that you maybe had a heart attack out there. And so, I'm like clockwork. I leave my house at 6:30 every morning, and she's like, I knew something was up. And
So do you go to a job or you got your own business? What is it that you do, Mike?
so I'm self-employed. I own a
Okay.
lawn fertilization company, and I spray mosquitoes and ticks. um, on the North Shore of Austin.
So you
And
were probably like, they're gonna have to wait a little bit for the flea and tick spray
yeah,
today.
I'm taking the day off.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. And it's good. I tell you, the fact that a lot of people are kind of crying today, that's fine. Remember, folks, it's just money. And Mike, that is just a wonderful story. And we love that you're going to continue doing that. And how often do you think these events happen? Like Vic's going from, what it was on what the other day, 23 or something to 40 something. How often does that happen, y'all? Does anybody know?
What happened in October? We felt some pain in October.
Yeah.
Do you know what the jump was then?
I don't remember what the jump was then. I can look. Let's see. Go ahead and talk though. Let me look at VIX and see what happened in October. Let's
I think
see.
maybe you ought to start adding that number to your spreadsheet too, just so we know.
Yeah, what VIX did in October or something?
No, I'm saying, every day you update your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Maybe you ought to put a column in there for the VIX, and then that way there you can look back easily over a course of time.
Well, actually, we do have a place in the spreadsheet that does have that. So I could look. I'd have to figure out where my 2023 thing is, but let's see. In October, VIX got up to about 23. Now, y'all look at what VIX has done today, y'all. VIX is back down to 34, but here's why a lot of us were experiencing such pain. VIX got up over 65 today.
Unbelievable.
And that's unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I mean, it's coming back in now, and it's helping all of our P&Ls a little bit. But were you using the spreadsheet at all or no?
No, I don't have the spreadsheet.
Okay, you weren't using the spreadsheet. So that's not why you made the decision that some of us didn't have of paring down your 111 trades. You just did it because it was taking up too much buying power. What buying power were you comfortable with using prior to this event? What were you doing? Where was your buying
Well,
power
it
at?
was up there, Bobby. I was getting, probably Friday, it was probably up close to with all the trades I have on. I was like starting to sweat bullets a little, to be honest, because I actually transferred another 20 grand in my account because I could see I was getting down like really low. I mean, I was probably trading up, not because I wanted to, but because the market was moving against me and a lot of my naked positions were exploding over time. I was probably in the 90% range, and I definitely didn't want to be there. And so, I was buying short-term puts like 3-4 days out just to get some margin relief. And, I transferred more money into my account. And, I closed whatever was profitable. So even if I made 2% on a 112, I would close it out just to get out of it. So I guess, I had some dumb luck too, but my biggest thing I would say to people is don't trade big. Don't let it if you have something go against you, close it at, the 200%.
Mhm.
That's going to be my new rule, because the naked calls I had that were out, I mean, those things went from $10 what I sold them at to 180 when the market was up. So you can spin out of control quickly with futures. So my big message would be don't trade big. Try to stay at that 25% level that you preach,
Mhm.
and make sure you have some black swan hedges on. Close the shorts on those as soon as you can, and just don't trade big.
I love it. I think you're exactly right. And what I hope, and the reason I wanted to record Mike doing this is I wanted everybody to be encouraged on a day when a lot of people are discouraged. I think we're on to something big. I thought we were on to something big with the 111, and I think we still are, as long as you, like you say, go by the stop losses and don't get too big and all of those things. I think we're fine. But I'm just re-energized about the Sweet Bobby hedge, the Black Swan hedge. I just think it's phenomenal, and I'm very, very, very proud of you, Mike. Very, very proud.
Thanks.
What was your intro into options, and kind of tell everybody how you kind of came up with it in options, and how you got to where you are today. I think people like hearing people traders' backgrounds.
All right. So back before COVID, as you can imagine, being self-employed, there's a lot of stress. So I would play YouTube videos at night, and there was a guy that talked about Japanese candlesticks,
Yeah.
and he was real monotone, and he would put me right to sleep. And one night when I was putting that on, this thing came across about stock options. I had always traded stocks, and I wasn't a great trader at stocks, but this thing came on about stock options, and I kind of was like, huh, that sounds interesting. And I learned about covered calls, selling covered calls. So I would do that. I'd buy like stock and then sell covered calls. And then I'd do the wheel strategy where you sell puts to get back into it. And then I stumbled across this guy, I think it's Kurt Duplessis, I think is his name.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Options Alpha.
Option Alpha. Yeah.
I listened to all his stuff when I was working, and Options Boot Camp. And then I don't even know how I found you, Bobby, but I'm so grateful because you're watching you and finding Tom King literally changed my life, and it sent me in a different direction where I could make a lot of money trading options, like doing the 112, protecting myself with the Black Swan hedge. I I have lost money. I mean, you do get hit once in a while, and I don't look at it as a bad thing. I look at it like an education. I've never looked at when I've misbid a job when I first started my business. I never looked at it like, oh, I lost money. I paid money. I lost money, essentially paying money to learn. And so I've taken some hits, and some of them were pretty big, but you sort of figure it out. And but like I said, the big thing is a lot of times people see that 112 and they go, wow, this is easy money. So I'm going to trade bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's when you get yourself into the bind. I think you got to be balanced between the 112 and having enough hedge and using the analysis tool. I don't know how to use it on Tasty Trade. Most of my stuff's still in TOS, but you got to use that analysis tool, and you need to say, I can put on another 112, and if the market drops, I'm not going to get crushed, or I'm just going to lose a little. So I think that's the big takeaway I have today.
That's great, Mike. Anyone got any questions for Mike at all? And Mike, thanks for sharing your time and everything. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, Mike. Well, listen, thanks a lot, and I appreciate it. And what are you going to do to celebrate? You got to do something to celebrate.
Well, my wife and my daughter just went to the beach, so we're on the New Hampshire. We live on the New Hampshire seacoast, so they're at the beach. So I'm gonna just sit in the air conditioning today because I work outside. And I might watch some movies. I don't know. Try to wipe the smile off my face. But
Yeah.
if you and your family ever end up in the Boston area, make sure you send me a message on Messenger. The lobster dinners are on me. Okay.
Oh, wonderful. That sounds great.
It was nice talking to you, Bobby.
Good talking to you, Mike.
Take it easy.
Congratulations. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.